Hi boys and girls, how's it going? I have now completed my second cruise with Atlantis. The first one was Atlantis Cruise Asia 2019, and now I've completed my second cruise, Atlantis Oasis 2020. This video is going to be about comparison between the two cruises that I have. So here are the comparison between my two cruises experience. The cruise ship was very different actually. The Norwegian cruise line, Norwegian Jewel, which I boarded in Asia last year, could host about 2,400 passengers and at a length of 360 meters in length total. But the Oasis of the Sea for the Caribbean cruise line was much larger. So 6,600 people on board with the length of 360 meters. I felt that in Norwegian Jewel, it was much relaxed atmosphere because in Oasis of the Sea, every time I walked out from my cabin room, I feel like they're aftering my money because there were a lot of shops on Oasis. There was the jewelry shop, coffee shop, and lots of specialty restaurants. Staffs are very much precious to sell you everything, from their dinner set to their fitness program. So I felt like every time I walked out from my cabin room, they're aftering my money. Whereas in Norwegian Cruise Line, it was much relaxed atmosphere because there were no retail shops on Norwegian Jewel. So I felt more relaxed. Really not the staff fault because I think each member of the staff on Oasis have like a sales target they have to deliver, and if they don't deliver they are in trouble. So I felt like it's the system, it's not really the staff. They have a sales quota to reach, and that's what I know to the people who have worked on cruise ship. So don't be offended when they try to sell you stuff. They have a job to do, so it's up to you to decide. About the destination. The destination for Asia cruise are from Hong Kong to Taipei to Shanghai, Osaka, and Tokyo. These are all megatropolis. They are the biggest cities in Asia, and the destination was pretty spectacular. And we've got to see all these mega cities while we arrived. For instance, Hong Kong skyline was pretty spectacular. Where else? For Norwegian Cruise Line, it was basically island hopping. Labadee to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then St. Martin. So they are very different cruise. I myself prefer big cities where you can just disappear and get lost. You have to really consider the destination when you choose cruise line. I would say the major difference on the amenities of these two cruise ships was the spa. I signed up for both of these spa packages on board. And on Norwegian Cruise Line, the spa is on top of the cruise ship. So we were sitting in the sauna and overlooking the ocean going by. It was beautiful. We had like a steam bath, we had jacuzzi. In Oasis, the spa was down under the deck, so there were no view and there were no jacuzzi. It's basically just a dry and a steam sauna. That's all they have, and some hot chairs for you to relax with. The one thing that Oasis of the Sea really lost out to Norwegian. Plus in Norwegian, they had like dryers and shampoos and conditioner, everything there. So I did all my shower every morning on Norwegian. Whereas on Oasis, they have nothing. They don't have dryers, they don't have soap, nothing is there. The thing we will talk about is the food on board. On Norwegian, the food was not good at all. I mean, I had low expectation for food for cruise ship, but Norwegian, you have to step up because your food wasn't very good. The thing about the Asia cruise was that we were docking on some of the most delicious city in the world. I mean, Shanghai, Taipei had so much to offer instead of food. So I ate all my food on land. Where else? I would say Oasis had better food. They have more options. They have the Sorrento pizza place, which I survived on for days. And also they have like cafes, and also they have like a taco place, which I only discovered towards the end of the cruise. Oasis had much better food option and quality of food than Norwegian. And one thing I must say is that the Norwegian cruise line wasn't very well staffed because they were a bit understaffed, and imagining thousands and thousands of people coming to dinner at the same time. Oasis of the Sea was very well staffed and we were very well looked after. The service was much faster. Events, I would say Norwegian, we didn't have a headliner in Norwegian Cruise Asia. I remember Miss Richfield was like doing everything. She was hosting bingo, she was hosting karaoke, she was like everything on that ship. Oasis Caribbean, we had a lot of shows. I really enjoy all the shows in Oasis. One of the best shows I went was Aqua 80s. The music was amazing. I could imagine the amount of music rights money they had to pay, because it was like a combination of all the different pop music that was popular in the 80s, and they mix it up so well. So I'm basically not a very big fan of acrobats, but I would say go see Aqua 80s. They were the best shows. The Oasis cruise ship has much more entertainment, a variety of entertainment. The surprising highlight for me on Oasis cruise ship was the time that I joined the full ship tour that happened on the second last day of the cruise. I thought it was the best tour I ever had. Went everywhere in the cruise ship. First head out to a restaurant where the head waiter explained how many waiters they hired. I think they had about 240 waiters. How command works between the head waiters and how the waiter has to execute his job. And then we went to the kitchen, which was even more fascinating because we were shown how the kitchen looked like behind the scene. And it was explained to us by the head chef himself. He has worked on the cruise ship Oasis many years, and I just love his presentation because he was showing us the massive dishwasher that could, I don't know, wash 120 plates a minute, something like that. Also, he showed us how they store the food, how they cook the food, and how it was given to the waiter at the end of the process. The surprising part was the bakery. I didn't even know that all these pastry that we have is freshly baked. So that department itself was a real highlight for me. And we have the baker, the head baker himself, demonstrating how he made the bread, and everything smells so wonderful in that bakery. Up is the storage of the ship. The ship actually has a huge storage place. Imagine our cruise ship had like 80,000 eggs. Yes, 80,000 eggs was needed for our trip. And we were shown how they store each of the items, because some of the items has to be specially stored. The most expensive items, of course, are the lobster. You're regretting not eating the lobster now, are you? The head of purchasing or storage, she explained to us how the items are counted, how they're being imported, and what are some of the things that they had to deal with the vendors getting the food items on the ship. All of this have to be coordinated very carefully, if not it will be a logistical nightmare. Engine room was fascinating. Head of engineer, he's from Poland, I think, and he explained to us how each of these control mechanism worked. He explained to us when the ship was built that it was built on a very special propeller, a propeller that can change direction and things like that. It was amazingly fascinating. He told us fun facts like the ship needed 8,000 kilos, yes, 8,000 kilos of fuel just to cruise for an hour. Well, there goes my carbon footprint. The ship has the world's most advanced sewage recycling system. So basically all the waste that goes into the ship goes into this amazingly complicated sewage system. And what is pumped out to the ship is almost drinkable water. Now that is amazing. And all the clocks in that room were of London time, because London is the headquarters for the Oceanic Association of the world. So when something happened, it has to be recorded on London time. We were also being shown how the ship handles recycling. Down at the bottom of the ship, guess what is on the bottom of the ship? It's actually our laundry. We were shown all these huge laundry washing machine, and also all the pressing machine, how it was not hand iron. All your bed sheets are ironed by these huge machines that you just put it in, and at the end of that machine is a perfectly ironed bed sheet. So each of the roads are being mapped out according to famous road. I mean, one of the road sign was Santa Monica Boulevard. Main interstate highway is called Interstate 95. I think it's a very famous interstate route in the United States because Interstate 95 is where everybody would walk through. It's like the main blood vein of the whole ship for the staff to walk in and out. It's a huge, huge interstate which goes from the back of the ship to the front of the ship. So every single corner or corridor is connected to this Interstate 95 in Deck 2. Our guide also talked about life on the ship. Basically work on a 7-month contract, 5 months working, every day working for 5 months, no day off, and then they get 2 months off. They have their own parties down there and they can date each other. They can't date you, but they can date each other, and you know, they have parties and they have like speed datings and stuff down on Deck 2. Fascinating, right? The finale of this tour was the Captain's Bridge, and that itself was pretty spectacular. We get to see the whole control room, and I thought there would be a huge steering wheel steering this gigantic ship, but no, the steering wheel is this tiny, and it's even smaller than your PlayStation jock strip because it was that tiny to steer that whole entire huge ship. But then again, most of the navigation systems are computerized, so it's basically looking at screen, and some of the screens are touch screen too, so it's kind of like a Star Trek control room, which I really, really enjoy. It's not allowed to film on this tour. I was so disappointed. Some of the places that we went to, we were followed by security because it's kind of like they have to protect some of the assets on the ship. I could not film, so I only have pictures to show you on that tour. I really hope you take the time to go on these kind of tours because it really is very eye-opening. Hey, so this section is really to talk about how I save money on cruise ship. This is my bill, and it says $60.73. I joined the Labradee zip line, I joined the cruise ship, the full tour, and I also joined the spa, which all of these three I paid in advance, $60.70. That's my bill. If you have lower bill, please tell me how you do it. The bill was a couple of drinks that I bought from my friends. I myself, I don't really drink. At $5 thing that I can use instead of the lanyard chip, so I bought that. And then there's laundry, and then there's ground transfer. Ground transfer is from Miami cruise ship terminal to the airport. So that's all that I spent, $60.73. I brought my own coffee. I don't really drink. Remember getting off the ship in Puerto Rico and I drank. That was super, super cheap, and I didn't drink at all on the ship. And that's how I save money. Yes! Highlights include all the new friends that I have made in this cruise ship. So both cruises are wonderful in terms of getting to know new friends. I want to thank all the new friends that I made on this ship. You all gave me lots and lots of good memories. I also want to thank the Atlantis cruise crew. I think they've been doing this for many, many years, and I think they know what they're doing. I was certainly well taken care of on both cruises. I want to give out a special thank to my housekeeper Eduardo from Honduras. My room looks like someone's been robbed every day. I just never had the time to tidy my stuff. He has a tough job really cleaning my room. I mean, It was horrible, but muchas gracias, Eduardo, wherever you are. That's it, boys and girls, for my video this time. I hope you find this video useful, especially for people who are deciding which cruise ship that they wanted to go on to, and also people who are going to one of these cruise ships. I do not work for Atlantis. I do not work for Norwegian Cruise Line. I do not work for Caribbean Cruise Line. I do not work for forfansonly.com. If you haven't seen my video for both the Asia cruise and the Oasis cruise, here they are. So until my next video, stay happy. Bye!